Why don't you come on in this house? You know what time it is. It is Throwback Thursday right here on the Brunch Bunch. It's my favorite day of the week. I am so excited. I hear everything that's going on in the studio because we are lit today. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch. It's just so much. Debra, turn that phone down. You are, listen, I'm so excited. I was in here jamming. We're jamming to the throwback hits, and so I just got caught up in that spirit. But you know what? This morning I woke up, and Facebook has this feature that reminds you what happened on this day.
I love that.
And I love that because surprisingly, today I had about 9 memories spanning about 10 years, and every memory was a post of me talking about how one day I'm going to be successful, how one day I'm going to own a skyscraper, while one day I'm riding in a limo. And I said, you know what, God, you know how to remind me that I'm on the right track.
But the Bible tells us to speak life or death.
Speak it. And you know what? I told a friend today, it's about manifestation. Because I thought it, because I said it, and because I kept the faith, God is restoring all and rewarding me for that. You are rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. And I'm always excited to have the grammar police herself right next to my side. Yep, come on in.
What's up, believers? It's your girl, Tamara Fair, on the air. We are excited to be with you today. And we got a whole bunch of information to impart to you today. Hey, for people who say that they are not in the political process, I'm going to show you how you actually are or need to be. What's up, Marcel?
What's up? And guess what? It is Thursday, and this weekend, before I bring in this weekend.
First of all, it ain't the weekend yet.
This past weekend,
It was amazing.
You know what was so amazing, because I had never seen a virtual fundraiser so dope as this, and we got none other than Miss Fine.
Debra Vine
in the building.
Good afternoon, believers. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to this amazing show. I'm excited, as usual.
Now, you got a lot to be excited about. You're doing some great work in the community. And not only are you doing great work just on your own, outside of any political office, you're also running for a political office.
I am.
You don't talk about it enough, though.
Campaigning is... It's a beast.
It is, but you know what? When you have the right mindset and you have the right tools, that's intellect, passion, persistence, and policy, you can get things done.
But you know what though? I guess it's really not a challenge for me, because I talk to people all the time about things that's happening in the community and things that I want to change all the time. So actually stepping my foot in this arena is just extra added to what I do already.
We were blessed this week to get some more information and history of Maywood, because we had another candidate running in the race, Dr. Mary Malary, on, and she gave us some historical background on Maywood. So
do tell.
We got
my opponent. Do tell.
Well, listen,
I love Dr. Mary Larry. I do. Shout out to you. Even though I got my puncher bag, my gloves on, punching at you, Mary Larry. I'm punching at you.
But listen, you know what I learned in politics is not permanent friends nor permanent enemies.
Yes.
It's permanent interests, and as long as the interests stay the same, and you all are interested in changing Maywood, but it's up to the people to go to the polls and vote. But it's up to us to keep the show rocking. We don't want you to go nowhere. It's Throwback Thursday right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Shout out to all the child care workers across Illinois who've been doing an amazing job during, and we're not in post-pandemic, and a lot of things have been going on, including policy. So today we have a 2:30 Zoom to talk about some important policy, but we're going to talk about it today. Y'all ready to talk about it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you talk about policy, it has to benefit not just the children and the families in one area, but it has to benefit children and families in all areas. Well, today we're going to talk about, with the child care champion, State Representative LaShawn K. Ford. And all the links for this 2:30 Zoom, not a Zoom, but a StreamYard, will be on it is on our Brunch Bunch Facebook page, as well as Child Care Advocates United page. All you have to do at about 2:25, 2:30 is hit the link. We want you to share if you care. Now, what is this bill? This bill is HB. That means House Bill 0141, and it will for a family eligible for child care services whose income is at or below 185% of the poverty level, which a lot of the community-based organizations service that population, it will make a family size pay $1 monthly fee as a co-payment for child care services. It deletes the provision that requires the Department of Human Services to establish by rule a co-payment that is reflective of the parent's income. So do you know how impactful that will be for families? They will get to keep money in their pockets. And particularly if you're eligible, that means that you're already in the lower tier of the earnings spectrum. And so that will allow families to put money away for an emergency. And I'm not talking about a lot of money, but a lot of people are $500 away from an emergency. This would impact them greatly. So it would also remove the provision that authorizes the Department of Human Services to raise parent co-pays, and it would be effective immediately. I want to give a great big shout out to Child Care Advocates United for bringing this to the forefront, as well as our state champion for child care families across the board, State Representative. Yes, LaShawn Ford.
You want to hear something funny about LaShawn Ford?
Be careful.
I know.
Please
Look,
be careful. Look, you got two.
You know what? Let me tell you about.
Two people sitting here without boxing gloves.
Let me tell you
on,
about
ready
that
for
black.
LaShawn
No, I'm
Ford.
joking. No, listen.
We
I was at the
love
barber
him.
shop this morning, and my barber. I got a new barber because I told you mine been MIA for 3 weeks, and he said, "Whatever happened to LaShawn Ford?" I said, "What you mean? Whatever happened to?" Because he referenced the issue back in the past, and I said, "LaShawn is boots on the ground." I said, "It's so funny that you brought that up because I start talking about HB 0141."
Good job. Good job. That's what I want y'all to do.
You know what? See, that's how you do it. That is how you do it. You don't just have like a instant conversation. You have a real conversation. You give them the facts. You give them the bill number, and you give them the representative that's bringing it forward.
Absolutely.
That's
Got
how
a
you
lot
advocate.
of sponsors from the reps in the legislature that have co-sponsored this bill. Shout out to Nick Smith. Shout out to Lakeisha Collins.
Yes, Lakeisha.
Yes. I mean, these are some champions and warriors for parents and children in Illinois. Now, speaking of champions and warriors, this bill will impact families directly, and I want to hear from families. Do you think that it's a good idea for this bill to be passed? If you do, I want to hear from you, 312-591-3878. And if you don't, if you have some concerns, I couldn't even imagine a con for a bill like this, but there are some. Let me tell you what some of the cons are that have been expressed. That parents, if they're already getting a lot free, and they should have some skin in the game. Well, guess what? They have skin in the game. They're trying. You can't apply and become eligible for any subsidies if you are not, number one, working or in school leveling yourself up. That's enough skin in the game to put you on the tax rolls, to make an economy even more robust and greater. Yes, so I definitely want to hear from you, pro or con. It doesn't matter. We respect everything that you think, but we also want to know. You might give us a different perspective. 312-591-3878. Now, I got some goodies because, on Thursday, every day of the week, if we have something to give away, we definitely will give it away. For everyone who goes on ilga.gov, that's illinois.gov, no, ilga.gov, and you actually send in a witness slip, you will get a free Urban Ministry Bible mailed to your house, but you have to post on Facebook your successful submission email. So the link.
Tammy can check if you did it or not.
Absolutely.
Here's a funny story. She sent it to me, right? I don't see your submission yet.
She texted me
and
the
I'm
same
just
day.
like, give me a minute.
I said, Lord, you just sent it 30 seconds ago.
And I did it.
Yes, you did, and I want to thank
And then
both
she sent
of
the
you.
screenshot of your name on there, didn't she? She sent my name
I don't
on the
think she
list.
screened, but that
No,
was
I don't
okay.
play no games with it because.
And you know what? I wish that I had some extra advocates like you advocating for autism, because I tell you, the way you are just putting it down for childcare, not because that's just your business, but it's your passion to actually come on the air, talk about the bill, talk about the policy, and tell people how to get involved. That's how you do it.
That's it.
Thank you, but I definitely can't take all that credit. I got a awesome steering committee for CCAU, and I want to shout out to each and every one of them: Anita and Beata and Jackie and Rolanda, Tamika and Allison. Yo, mama.
You sound like that song when he started rapping and saying all of that. And Keisha, Alicia, her mama and her friend.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make just because you said that, I'm definitely gonna make a rap for that. So you guys, families who are gonna be the direct beneficiaries, we want to hear from you. 312-591-3878. Go on our Brunch Bunch Facebook page and fill out the witness slip. If you are for it, be sure to click proponent and join us today at 2:30 on the live StreamYard today so that you can hear all of the issues. We also got some other goodies for you. Everyone who sends it in, you got immediate gratification goodies.
I know, and you know what? We have to continue to support these great causes like child care and special needs. But we got a call on the line that wants to voice their opinion.
All right.
Caller, what do you have to say?
About that deal. Usually, I'm gonna say this. I'm a grandmother, so usually you didn't have you had your grandmother, your aunties, your uncles to help you out when you first started a job to babysit, and therefore you can save some money. But now people don't have their grandmothers, their grandfathers, or aunties and uncles to help them out. So this bill would be a perfect setup for them.
Come on.
Like you said, to save some money. That will be easier for them to save money right now, because right now, a lot of people don't have their grandmothers or grandfathers or aunties and uncles around right now. They would have to try to. It would be difficult for them to basically pay child care.
Great point. And it's not just saving money; it's also taking money and satisfying your essentials. Some people are $500 away from making their full rent payment, and they have to defer it. So you're exactly right. Great point. Thank you so much. What's your name?
My name is Armika.
Armika, I'm going to be...
Hey, Armika, one of our faithful listeners. What's going on? We love you. Thank you for tuning in.
Fill out that witness slip. Go on our page and get that witness slip and voice your opinion. Your voice needs to be heard. Thank you, Armika.
Yes, we have another caller on the line that wants to voice their opinion. Caller, what do you have to say?
To God be the glory. Praise God. Is it me that's on?
Yes, it's you.
Okay.
It's all you.
Awesome. I've been listening to you all for a while, and this is my first time calling and coming through because I've left messages about certain things, Fisk and others. Jubilee singers.
Okay, Fisk University come through.
I read the book 2 years ago, yes.
Awesome.
Awesome. But I want to say to you, my sister, woman of God.
Yes.
Just as Sister Debra Rhines is running for office, we need your articulation and your brilliance. We also need you, the passion. Brother Ashton Jackson, we need you, please. You are the Joshua generation, Joshuettes. So please give that some thought. May God put that in your spirit. Do that. We need you. Thank you for accepting the call. Bless you.
Thank you so much.
What's your name?
Sister Debra.
Sister Debra.
Thank you so much.
That's an amazing woman.
Yes.
Hey.
Woman of God. You heard her say Jubilee singing. Come on, HBCU.
Hey, listen, well, she said that we need your brilliance, Tammy Fair, in office. Not just in your house, but maybe in the State House. Matter of fact, go all the way to the White House.
I'm going to the Black House when you get through.
Right. Well, you know where I'm going?
Where?
Back down.
To your house.
I'm going back down memory lane because we're going to keep rocking to some throwback hits. It's Marvin Sapp with some good old-fashioned hymns. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share. First of all, what is called is what's going on, and we are live on the air. And I don't know. I'm going to have to bring security with me. So when y'all start talking in my segment, I'm going to have them escort y'all up out of here. I'm
going to just grab them. Ford, Kim Life,
well, it ain't about LaShawn, Kim, or none of that. It's about me right now. It's what's going on. Let's talk about how this stimulus bill will ensure that some 12 million Americans won't receive payments because they have narrowed who will get the payments. So President Joe Biden promised America $2,000 stimulus payments as soon as he got into office. Shortly after, Georgia voters came out in force and helped turn the red state blue, ensuring that Biden would be playing to a Democratic Senate. Biden noted that 1,400 was on the way. Then West Virginia Senator Senator John Manchin began to swell up with power, partly because he's a Republican. So for some reason, Manchin decided that in regard to stimulus payments to those struggling during this pandemic, which has come uninvited, he won't vote for a stimulus package unless fewer people receive money. With Democrats using budget reconciliation to jam it through Congress, all of the Democrats will have to vote along party lines in order for it to pass without Republican support. Manchin has decided he just doesn't want people who have been struggling during this pandemic to receive $1,400. So he's been pushing for limits on who gets the money. On Wednesday, Biden caved to pressure from moderate Democrats and limited the stimulus payments, ensuring that some 12 million Americans and 5 million children who received checks under the Trump administration won't be receiving anything under the Biden administration. And from the New York Times, I quote, "Under the new proposal blessed by Mr. Biden, individuals earning more than $80,000 and households with incomes exceeding 160,000 would be disqualified from receiving stimulus checks. The caps are $20,000 lower than they were in the last round, wiping out payments for millions of America." So, let's get this straight. President Biden's first piece of substantial legislation, the first piece of meaningful legislation that he will pass in these coronavirus times, the piece of legislation he promised voters that I mentioned prior to him being sworn in, is going to short some 12 million people out of money that they were eligible for under the worst president in American history.
If in fact,
and I dropped the mic.
Okay, but if in fact we sit and allow that to happen, it's going to happen. If we sit in our stations, if we sit in our kitchens, if we sit in our cars, and all we do is talk about, ain't that a shame? And we don't get involved in the political process because people power pushes policy. It also makes policy stagnant when people power is absent. So if we continue to talk about it and don't do anything about it, guess what? 12 million Americans will suffer. Those 12 million Americans and the ones that are directly affiliated with them have to use their people power to push this forward. And if this is as incorrigible as any mayor in the city of Chicago not picking up the snow, it's as incorrigible as if anybody that was elected to do anything that they promised on camera, so there's evidence that this is what your promise was, and then you go back on your promise because you cave into pressure. Your pressure should be coming from your people, not your policymakers. Policymakers are in place to vote what the people want.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, and it was so eloquent, and we talk about that daily on this show, that we have to use our people power. But it's our job to bring the people the news so that they can use their people power, because if you're not paying attention, just like with the tax bill that you talked about the other day, these things will continue to happen. But I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's always smoke and mirrors. I said Biden was already teeter-totting when he got sworn in, because he said an additional 2,000. Then once he got the votes, he said, I meant 2,000 minus the 600 Trump gave you. So you're really not giving us 2,000, you're giving us 1,400. And now you're cutting out 12 million adults and 5 million children from getting checks. And I said children because I know you love the kids. Tammy love the kids, so I want to make sure. Thursday, today, or maybe it's the next Thursday.
It's next Thursday.
The Senate will vote on this piece of crap legislation.
Well, you
so
know,
what
they
the
move
people
very
can,
stealthily.
but what the people can do, because we solution based, they can start calling their senators. No matter, you need to know what your senator's stance is on this bill and tell them that you do not support people getting cut out. Now, I didn't get the last stimulus. So people like me
That's because you're rich.
Yeah, well, listen, I ain't rich.
No,
but
you rich.
God's been a little good to a brother, so I didn't get it. But I still was needing it. And so now to take it even lower, that's going to hurt a lot of people. And you just mentioned extra $300, $500 in the person. And when I was in network marketing, you know, I used to tell people, if you could just make an extra $300 a month, when the market crashed, if people were making an extra $300 a month, they wouldn't have lost their homes.
Yep.
There was studies that shown just a few extra dollars a month could help somebody save their house. So this $1,400 is bad enough. We're only getting $1,400,
Okay.
where other countries have been getting checks every month.
Monthly.
Now you just want to cut people out. I say cut their salaries. I can't get nobody to help me.
No, I feel like Kirk Franklin right now. Like you're the singer, and I'm just saying, well, I'm just the
You the
rapper,
family.
right? I'm the family. But I do agree with you 100%. A lot of people think because you were earning in March of 2019, when the pandemic first came down, you were earning that amount of money that you're still earning it, and that's not true. People's salaries have gone down. I mean, as evidence
Yes.
is how many people are on unemployment.
You know what though? All jokes aside, when I said Marcel was rich, you know, it's a lot of people that are in great tax brackets, but they are
Come on.
struggling.
Yes.
It's a lot of people that have PhDs, master's degrees, had great jobs, but
Yeah.
they're struggling.
Well, when you
one
think
check
about
away
it,
from being
homeless.
Homeless. And then, you know what? I'm glad that I have the gift to shift. Because I'm going to shift a little bit, but
Gift
it's
to
on
shift.
it's on the same topic. Because we're talking politics and smoke and mirrors. And I was just at the alderman's office on the west side, 29th Ward, and then I had a call with the alderman's office on the way here. But we were just talking, and they said, you need to talk about this on the show. I said, we talk. We cannot keep allowing people. Case in point, Governor Pritzker, whom I supported and helped. But guess what? Where's our help with this cannabis legislation? Where's our help? You know, one of the issues is
That's a
no
good
black
question.
people got a license to open a dispensary, right? They said they were going to make it equitable. They didn't do it. Then they said, okay, well, we'll allow, of course, you got to have somewhere to smoke this cannabis. So you can open a smoke shop. But the city put a moratorium on smoke shop licenses, so you had to already have one. But then when you look a little deeper, only 1% of people with smoke shop licenses in the city are minority. So it's like,
1%.
you are shutting us out on every angle that you can, but we keep allowing it.
Well, no. When people ask you, like in the barbershop, where is LaShawn Ford? That's where his efforts have been
Exactly.
focused on, not just child care, but also in this cannabis. And it's wherever there is an inequity, wherever there is an imbalance, that's where you can find State
LaShawn
Representative
Ford.
LaShawn
Oh,
Ford.
God, it's not about
It's
LaShawn
definitely
Ford.
not,
Lord.
but you got to
But you know what?
champion for equity.
Absolutely. And
But
it's-
here's the deal too, and herein lies here. We got to look at both. So now
ahead.
I'm gonna tell you the issue. Then herein lies the issue. These elected officials have to be just like business owners, just like government agencies that all do it wrong. So have to be able to let the people know what they're doing and what's going on. It's called branding. Q
Yes.
talked about that yesterday. Because then they asked me in the alderman office today. They got jobs, which we're gonna announce them soon, $20 an hour, and they said, but nobody want the job and ain't nobody work. I said, well, that's not always the case,
not.
but it is twofold. We do have a group of people that are lazy and don't really want to work, or they come
And-
get
and
the
it's
job
not
and don't
just
work.
that. It's not
But
just
then
that.
hold
The
on, let me get to the
qualify-
flip
qualify.
side. But then the flip side is, how hard did you get out to make sure everybody knew about the job? Because you know what? Sending an email blast is not marketing.
That's right.
That ain't you send it to 100 organizations and woo, them 100 organizations sent it to their people. But what about the people in the community? What happened to grassroots
what about
campaigning and
dropping
marketing?
stuff off at the library?
Hello.
What about connecting it with the schools for the parents?
Wait, they still got libraries? No, I'm joking.
they still have libraries.
But no, I mean, but we have to. I love our show because we're able to bring. People always
Let me tell
compliment
you how I
us
get
about
information
news you
out.
can use.
I will actually put a flyer in your hand if I'm walking down the street. I
Yeah.
always have my marketing materials right with me, and emails are fine. social media is fine, but you have to touch the people. And I'm going to keep saying it until I'm proven wrong. You have to touch the people.
You got to. You got to be able, because, I mean, it's twofold. It's always, look, what they say is your side, their side, and the truth. I mean, it's always, it's going to be like, oh, this, it. But at the end of the day, we need to be able to understand and say, all right, here's one side. This is an issue. Here's another side. But how do we bridge that gap? Because there's a gap somewhere to make sure that people know. I mean, I am grateful that I keep my ear to the street and I'm connected to people like you. So I was able to say, well, this is what LaShawn has been doing, and he's doing great work, and he's out here. And so that helped. So now that'll change that conversation. Mm-hmm. But if it was somebody else that didn't know, they'd be like, oh, I ain't heard, and then it just keeps going and going. So now we just have to have better communication in our community. People perish for a lack of knowledge. And ignorance is not bliss.
No, it is bliss, because a lot of times people don't want to know. And I'm saying change your mindset, shift, use your gift to shift and know, because when you know better, you can do better. And you said something extremely important, but smoke and mirrors is what I want to concentrate on. When they send those notifications out, they are satisfying their legal obligation. They are not satisfying their community obligation or their moral obligation. But legally, if they send it to 10 people or 100 people, they've done what they're legally supposed to do. That's why we have to be seekers of knowledge, seekers of resources, and that's why the Brunch Bunch was born. So that you don't necessarily have to seek. All you got to do is listen from 12 to 1.
That's it, because we bring news you can use. I mean, we just have to keep he who controls the media controls the mind. That's why we need our own media. That's why our platform is so dope, because nobody owns us. Nobody can tell us what to say or what not to say. We can say whatever we want to say, but we need more outlets. We can't be the only one, because we don't reach everybody. I would love to be the only person that everybody listens to, but that wouldn't happen. So we need more independent black news sources that's going to talk about the things that matter in our community.
Absolutely.
Like 12 million Americans losing a stimulus check.
And some people called and told me that they were not going to be eligible for the stimulus check this round because of how much their taxes show. Like you said, they look good on their income taxes, but their income, what's going on now, is what they need to be looking good on. Again, that's the difference between homelessness and staying in your home, between heat and no heat. But it's up to us. If we want to affect change, we got to make the change. Absolutely. And that means if you're sitting on your couch and you're not in front of your computer or on your phone and you're effecting change, then you're accepting the status quo.
Well, speaking of change, we're going to change this subject, because up next we got The Answer with Debra Vines. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share.
Miss Meg Cooch, who is for the past 4 years has served as executive director of the ARC of Illinois, a statewide coalition working to ensure people with intellectual and developmental disabilities can fully participate in community life through informed choices. Prior to this, Meg spent 20 years in local, state, and national nonprofits, focused on policy, advocacy, community organizing with people with disabilities of all ages, families, and community organizations. Meg worked on federal health and disability policy in Washington, D.C., and long-term service advocacy in San Francisco, California. Meg has a bachelor's degree from the University of Virginia and a master's degree in public policy from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. She lives in Chicago with her husband and 2 children. Brunch Bunch, let's welcome Executive Director of the ARC of Illinois, Mrs. Meg Cooch.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me today, Debra.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. She is truly I'm sorry, Meg, but Tammy is truly the grammar police. Thank you.
Don't you send no note over here.
so, the ARC of Illinois. Thank you.
What you say, noise?
Okay, I'm sorry, Meg.
Okay, sorry, Meg. Welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you. Deborah's talked about you and told us the great things that you are doing, and we're so excited to have you to join us on this great segment. Debra, take it away. I know you got a lot of questions.
Thank you. Yes, I do. I got so tickled. I'm sorry. So, Meg, tell us a little bit about the ARC of Illinois, because the ARC is actually a national organization, but the ARC of Illinois is what I'm familiar with. So let the listening audience know just a little bit, because we can be talking for about the next hour talking about everything that the ARC does.
Today. We really appreciate your partnership with The Answer. And for folks that don't know, Debra has been generous enough to speak at a number of our events. And actually, we gave Debra a leadership award a couple years ago for the wonderful work that you do in the community. So thank you for that. So the ARC is, in fact, the ARC of Illinois is, in fact, a part of a larger national network of organizations that way back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, parents got together and said, we think our kids should be able to stay at home with us and have meaningful lives and do really fun things and contribute to our communities. Because at the time, when someone had a developmental disability, they were told to move kids into institutions and away from communities. And so parents really, throughout that time and really even today, fight to make sure that they're services and supports they need so that they can really have meaningful lives just like everyone else.
Great. Well, the ARC is really big on policy making and just keeping the audience of our community informed about all the different things that's going on within legislation. So could you actually tell the listening audience what's happening in spring session and what we should watch out for?
So we do a lot of policy and advocacy work. We also provide information and resources. So at the end, I guess I can tell folks where to find us, hopefully. But we do a lot of policy and advocacy, and we try to get people with disabilities and family members to really come with us to Springfield or go to your local offices to talk to your legislators about what is important to people with disabilities and the disability community and what we need to see so that people can live and be a part of communities across the state. So there's a ton going on in Springfield right now, and really through the springtime that will potentially help people with disabilities and can impact people with disabilities. So the governor released a budget that included about $77 million for services and supports for people with developmental disabilities, which you think, great. I mean, I take $77 million. That's a ton of money, and it was a great first step and commitment. But there was some research done recently, and they found that really the state for a long time has been underspending on services that would keep people in their own communities. And so they said that actually the state needs to put about $330 million into services. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in Springfield this spring talking about what it will take to make sure there's enough supports for people to be able to be employed in the community, to have their own homes in the community, and be able to be part of the community.
That is so great. Could you talk a little bit about some of the departments of the ARC? I mean, I love the stipend program because this was an opportunity actually for me as an advocate to be able to talk to a lot of the parents and caregivers in communities of color and underserved communities, which is one of my goals, to be able to get them the information so they can take advantage of some of the amazing trainings that the ARC of Illinois does. Could you speak to that, please?
They call it the Consumer and Family Stipend Program, but it's basically we thanks in part to the Illinois Council on Developmental Disabilities, are able to pay for people with disabilities and their families to go to attend any trainings they want. Doesn't have to be ours. It could be somewhere else. If it's in Hawaii, you got to justify it, but you can still go to Hawaii if you want. And covers the cost of any registration. It can cover the cost of travel. It can cover the cost of childcare, which I know is a really big issue for people. And the coolest thing is because we're all virtual right now, they actually open it up, and now it can cover the cost of a tablet or any other technology potentially people might need to be able to attend online trainings. So all you have to do is go to our website, which is www.thearcofil.org, thearcil.org, il.org, thearcofil.org, or you can call our phone number, which is 815-464-1832, and it's a one-page application, just saying who you are, and you're either a person with a disability or a family member of a person with developmental disabilities, and we'll process it as quickly as possible. So thanks for mentioning that, because we do really want to get the word out, especially about this big new opportunity.
Now that's
huge.
great. That is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a one of the components of the ARC that I just love, and I've really enjoyed working with you guys over the last 10 years and just actually bringing more resources to underserved communities. So did you guys have anything for Ms. Cooch?
Yes, so of course when you talk about childcare, that resonates my ears like a bunny rabbit. But when you say that this is a resource for families to partake in, can you talk about how childcare is, the people who are in need of childcare are beneficiaries, and what do they have to do in order to partake in the program?
Thanks for the question. It's really childcare during times when there are trainings. So if you want to go to a training, I don't know about you all, but I have 2 kids at home, and so during when I was trying to do trainings and on trainings, and they're at home with school, and it's just really challenging, right? So this would really allow is for people who maybe have, whether it be a child or an adult, a child that's home with them, where maybe they can't participate in the training, they can't either attend it in person or be online because they really need to focus on their kids, and it's really hard to do both at once. And this would cover the time of the training, and basically there's kind of a structure that will send you a check to cover the child care needs. And we don't when it's an in-person training, sometimes we do offer child care on site for people, but for virtual trainings we can't offer you the actual person to come in, but you need to find the person, but we would cover that cost so that parents and families can still really educate themselves, learn more about services that might help them, or and that sort of thing.
That's awesome. Now, those pre-selected providers, or does the program allow mobility with parents choosing wherever they want to go?
Parents can find the person they want to watch their kids.
Awesome. Okay, great. That's incredible. It sounds like you have just a myriad of great resources for families across Illinois.
Yeah, that's why I really wanted Meg to be on the show, because a lot of families do not know about the ARC. And so now the Brunch Bunch audience knows all about the ARC, and I know that you're transitioning into a new position, and you want to speak to that for about 30 seconds?
Sure, thanks. At the end of the month, I am moving over. I'm going to go work for the state. So I've never done that before, so we'll see. But I'm going to go work on at the Division of Developmental Disabilities, focusing on community integration and community inclusion, so that more people can stay in their communities, even if they need support for their disability, or they'll be able to stay in their own homes and their communities. And so we're going to try to work on making sure the state is doing right by people.
Well,
wow! Congratulations.
That is so awesome.
Well, how's the ARC gonna do? What's the ARC gonna do without you?
You look sad, Tammy.
I know. We just got childcare.
There is a search committee out, and if anyone is a strong advocate and wants to lead a great organization, you can check our website, or you can email me at meg@thearcofil.org, and I'm happy to forward you the job description.
Can you give us that website again, please?
It's www.thearcofil.org.
Thank you.
Well, Meg, thank you so much for coming on our show. We appreciate this great information that you gave us, and I look forward to even doing more work with you in your new position and continuing my work with the ARC of Illinois. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Thank you, Meg.
I'm
Keep
so-
doing what you're doing.
Yes, I'm so excited because we spread the word on this show. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share. Finally using 2 words that I've never been able to, 2 letters. N-O. No. No, but listen, I just want to, it's Throwback Thursday, but I wanted to tell something funny.
Okay.
So I always, because I'm out and about. Tammy, I know you live in the far suburbs and you don't run into as many people as I do. But I hear some of the funniest stories about the Brunch Bunch. So my mother called me yesterday and she said she was meeting with a realtor and just talking, lady she knows, and she mentioned the Brunch Bunch and my name. And she said, told my mother, I love your brother.
That's right.
Brother, my mama said, no, he's only 32. She said, he sounds so young. And him and his wife are a great team on the radio.
I
I said, "White? What the heck?" So my mother thought that was so funny, and I
Now
said,
that's funny.
"So I was her brother, and I'm your husband."
Now that's funny. I guess I'm the auntie.
It ain't as funny as when me and Valencia was in Miami with Otis and my cousin, and they told Valencia, "Ask your father to come here." So
Talking
I
about you?
said, "Yeah."
That's
Thought
my-
I was the father, my cousin was the wife, and Otis was the grandpa. I said, "You know what?
that's
I
funny.
gotta." That's when I start dressing a little cooler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say real quickly that thank you to everyone that attended the virtual Smooth Grooves R&B, the Smooth Groove Comedy Relief for Autism this past Sunday. It was absolutely amazing. We had a special guest pop in,
A celebrity
a celebrity
actor, Tammy, a famous comedian,
Craig Robinson.
Craig
yeah,
Robinson,
I know
whom I love, and Hot Tub Time Machine. Debra reached out to him on Instagram, DM'd him, and he was on the event. She didn't know it was him, though. So when he tried to speak to her, she told him, "Hold on."
He called me on the phone. He said, "Hey, this is Craig Robinson." I said, "Well, I'm going to have to call you back because I'm in the middle of the event."
Oh, heck
Ah.
You know what? We perish by lack of
And guess
knowledge.
what? And so when everything was over, he called me back and he's like, "Hey, I really like the work that you guys are doing. I went to your website. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you right away. And when you DM'd me, but I'm going to send you a donation." And he did. He sent us a very
A
sizable
very
donation.
nice donation.
And hopefully he will be our guest, our special guest for our upcoming gala in September.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm looking
see
forward
what
to that.
just leaping out on faith does? You
Yes.
don't have to be a prison in your fear. Go
Yes.
ahead and just leap and see what happens.
We have some great things coming up though. Again, March 28th, our Autism and Special Needs Expo. So you can go to our page and register for that. It's absolutely free to register. If you want to be a vendor, it's $50. For not-for-profits, for businesses is $100. So far, we have
Go to the
43.
answer for more info. I'm cutting y'all off because we are out of time. You know what? We are jam-packed, but we encourage you on this Throwback Thursday not to worry about anything. Just know the angels are watching over you. Up next, AC Green. After that, Marcella Jones.